Hello, I am coming to you again from St. Augustine, Florida. If you didn't know, I am down here for 3 weeks. We are with another couple and we rented an Airbnb, and the weather was a little bit chilly at first. So, not as chilly as it is in Virginia, though I will say that. So, I can't be too picky, but it's really gotten nice. Yesterday it was like 82 degrees. So I brought a lot of shorts and a lot of short sleeve shirts, and I have not been able to wear them. So I'm really glad that I could start wearing some other clothes. And it looks like it's going to be gorgeous for the rest of the time we're here. So I'm here for another week. And we did not know this, but the Daytona 500 is happening tomorrow, and it's going to be quite busy about an hour south of us. So quite the big deal in this area this time of year, and I think even more so because everything's been shut down so much in the last couple of years because of the pandemic. So I think everybody's coming out of the woodwork, and like sold out crowd, 100,000 people will be there. And I had no idea. This shows you how much I don't know about car racing. 2.5 miles. That track is 2.5 miles when you go around it. Like that's a long way. So I can't imagine. I mean, I can't imagine what it's like in that stadium. So crazy, huh? So, anyways, today I want to talk about the abundance of emotions. And the reason why this came up is because I have a new group of students going through the second half Spark School, and it's a lot of work that is being done by these women. And I'm so incredibly proud of them. First of all, I want to say this because they might be listening, some might be listening, but I am so incredibly proud of them for having committed to the work that they are now doing. And it's not easy. And I understand it's not easy, but I love this part of what I do because this is the beginning, and we're just getting to know each other. But there's so much to look forward to. There's so much to look forward to. But what I do in my program is I start immediately with the hard work. With the hard work. And it does and can create a lot of emotion. And so the first things we tackle are getting on paper those thoughts that are automatic. They're on autopilot in your head, in your brain. They're just repeating like a tape recorder. So we figure out what those are. And it's funny because we all think that we have these crazy thoughts in our head, but so many other people have very similar thoughts. So that's one of the first things they realize is that they're kind of normal. They're not so crazy, although it's scary to share these thoughts that are going through our heads because they sound so crazy once we start talking about them. The things that we're thinking about ourselves that are so unhelpful to where we want to be in life, to where we want to go in life, to what we want to do in life. And we are such a critic inside our head. That ego brain is not helping us because that ego brain doesn't want us to change. And it's fighting like hell, especially right now for these ladies. So I thought it would be good to talk about because they're going through emotions with learning these things and trying to, number one, rewire those automated negative thoughts and turn them into positive, empowering thoughts, and learning about who they really are. And you might think, how do you do that? Well, I have them go through an assessment. Find out their inborn personality type. And it's a fascinating thing. If you want to learn more about it, listen to one of my back episodes with Alex Paulos. I ran it in January, but it first aired, I think about a year and a half ago. But so basically they learn who they really are. and not only who they really are. When I say who you really are, it's kind of like what naturally you comes easy for you, and that you like. So, for example, some people are more spontaneous and they're real casual in the way they talk to people, and they don't function well in super structured situations, environments, or with very direct conversation. That's just one example of a type that some types are very direct, very to the point. And there's characteristics like, strengths. You think of them as strengths, things that you do well, and things that you maybe don't do so well. And it's not so much that you do them well or you don't do them well. It's like you like doing them or you don't like doing them. Like something might make you like procrastinate, something that you don't really like to do, or something might make you really exhausted when you do it, drains you. Well, that's something that's probably not aligned with your personality type. So it's a very interesting process that people go through, but it can be emotional when you find out these things. Because remember, you've got that part of your brain that is being critical. So as you're learning these things, you're also criticizing these things, which we learn how to adjust that. We learn how to rewire the brain so the brain supports you, doesn't criticize you anymore, supports you, embraces you, loves you, thinks the world of you. Can you imagine having like a BFF in your ear every day that says these amazing things to you? So that's what we learn how to do. But emotions, we avoid these emotions. And so if you're going through this process where you're learning and it's creating emotion, maybe you cry. Chances are you probably will. People who cry actually have huger transformations, bigger transformations. I don't know if huger is a word, but it is a word for this. But crying is powerful because it's a release. It's a release. And I had to talk to my students this week because I wanted them to know that there is no blue pill. There is no blue pill. Just like in a diet, you're not going to have a 20-minute conversation about what your inborn personality type is, and everything's going to be different from here on out. It is a process of discovery. And how exciting is that to know that the journey has begun? That is the beginning of the breakthrough. The breakthrough hasn't happened yet. There's going to be multiple breakthroughs, probably, chances are, if you continue to do the work. But the work is just beginning. It's like, let's use the bike riding example again. So because I've used this before, you can read about it, you can watch somebody do it, but until you get on the bike and you have a spill and then get back on the bike, you really haven't learned it. And you certainly can't stand on the seat yet. So they are at the beginning, the precipice of the work. So there's resistance to these tears. There is this feeling of, if I cry, that's bad. It's not bad. That, and I say this because I've seen it time and time again. The breakthrough is on the other side of that emotion. The breakthrough is on the other side of those tears. Tears are a release. And sometimes it takes tears to really get to that root of what's going on. I say this all the time, is that the answers are inside of us already. I, as a coach, just help you find those answers. It's hard. When I was started coaching, it was super hard for me to allow somebody to cry, because I'm a kind of a jokester. I have a sense of humor. And I realized at some point, I got this from my father, because my father was a jokester. And I realized, and I actually got this from I might have even talked about it on a podcast episode, but I was in a breathwork session, and I set an intention of why am I so resistant to allowing my clients to cry? I had this feeling of just like, I didn't want them to cry. I wanted them to be happy. I always want people to be happy. I like to make jokes to make people happy. I like them to smile. My whole life has been my goal in life is to make a stranger smile. And so I remember this breathwork session, and I was like, my intention is, why am I so resistant to allowing my clients to cry? And in that breathwork session, I got the most amazing download from the universe, from whoever. Maybe it was my father who sent it to me. But what I realized is my father was put in foster care as a child. His mother got tuberculosis, and he was separated from his family and put in foster care for, I think, 3 or 4 years, not 6 months or anything. It was a lengthy period of time. And he, as he grew up, he became a jokester because of the pain. As I heard a couple of stories as I got older, and I realized that it was a cover up for the pain he had when he was a child. And so, of course, when you have a role model that operates that way, you do that too. And what I realized is that I am stealing my clients of the biggest breakthroughs because they are not crying. So I have to give them space to feel those emotions. I have to give them space to feel the feels. The crying is good. So when one of my new students told me she cried because of learning her inborn personality, which is totally the best thing ever to learn, right? She has this clarity and information she didn't have before. But the emotions came. But we view these emotions as negative, and they're not negative. They're positive. Let's take these crazy ideas we have and judgments that we have about ourselves. Because if it was somebody else, we'd be supportive. We'd be supportive of these people. We'd be hugging these people. But and when it's us, we judge ourselves and are critical of ourselves. And so I was so happy and had to explain why the tears are good. This close, as I'm holding up my fingers, which you can't see if you're just listening to this, but so close, like I have like a half an inch across my fingers, that close to a breakthrough. It doesn't happen in the moment of the tears. You have to feel the emotion. You have to be in that space. It comes after. And it might come after in a few hours. It might come after in a few days. It might come after in a few months. But it's percolating. It's started. The work has started. And there will be more clarity immediately following the tears that will lead to further clarity as time goes on. So the abundance, and that's why I made this an abundance episode, because I'm like, the abundance of emotions is clear, but we never view emotion. I mean, we might view positive emotions as abundant. But let's talk about tears. Sad tears, not happy tears, because there can be happy tears. Like when somebody comes home from overseas, I always think of that, like coming home from being in a war, right? Happy tears. Sad tears. We're talking about sad tears. We're talking about sad feelings. Start to look at sad feelings as a significant opportunity for change, a significant opportunity for reflection. What does this emotion, what gift is this emotion bringing to you? Why am I crying? What is my soul trying to teach me in this moment? Be open, be silent, and be open to that communication. Don't look for the lack of what the negative, these tears mean something bad. Of course, tears can mean grief. We all suffer losses in terms of, losing a family member, that kind of grief. I'm talking specifically about emotions related to changing and doing work that are taking you in a new place, in a new direction. So specifically, the example, I have women who have said, they have raised their hand and said, I am not happy. I want a better life. I want some different things in my life. I'm stuck. I am not getting where I want to get on my own. I need help. And so they have raised their hand that they are ready for this journey, that they are ready to make this change. So emotions come, ride them out. Look for the abundance. What are the tears saying? What are the tears trying to tell you? Like tears, think of them as tea leaves. But I am so proud of them for raising their hand. I'm so proud of them for showing up and doing the work, because it's not easy. It's not a blue pill. There's no blue pills exist in this work. But it is incredible, the abundance that is found. And it often isn't found until the breakthrough is realized. And then you look back. But if we can just start to be aware of when this happens and be abundant in the moment, in the process, and just judge ourselves, not harshly, just love on ourselves. And that will really, really make a big difference. And it'll probably make the breakthrough happen a little more quickly, because when you stay in the abundance mindset, it tends to be a little bit more open, a little bit more of an open channel there. And things, you attract things as well. You'll attract that breakthrough. You'll attract those thoughts that you need. You'll attract those intuitive hits you need if you can stay abundant. So, but the point of this episode was, number one, to recognize and support my most amazing students who are going through this work now, and to recognize and appreciate the emotions, because I too have had a hard time allowing them to happen and viewing them as a thing, something to avoid. But now I know I have to let them happen because I don't want to rob my students of those amazing breakthroughs that come after the emotions, after the tears. So hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope it helped. Next time you have tears, be aware where they're coming from and be abundant about them. So talk to you later. Bye.